It's
Tank.
great. Here he is, Mark. How you doing, man?
I'm here, guys. I'm here.
It's Anthony and, of course, Dave Landau.
How are you, sir?
what
Big
up?
fan.
Very happy to have you on board. I'm a huge fan of
I
Shark
appreciate
Tank.
that.
My God, I watch that show. It's addicting. I know they play it over there on
CNBC.
on CNBC for like hours on end, and I'll watch
horrible.
every minute of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll be pissed when it goes off. I'm like, oh, come on, one more episode. I've watched 20 episodes. But it's so addicting to watch. You guys have this great rapport, but also a competition with each other, which is really good. And some of these things, at first, when I first started watching, I was like, is this a work? Is this a put on? You really do get on each other sometimes for how they're treating some of the people that are presenting their ideas, deals that are being made, for getting involved when they've already said they're out. And it looks like you guys are authentically pissed at each other. That happen a lot?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, when we shoot like 12-hour days. And so imagine if you're working like you guys, you're working every day with somebody. They're your friend, but you get annoyed as hell with them, right? And so it's all real. And so after these long days, like, people don't realize when a deal comes in, we know nothing about them, nothing at all. And then they start pitching. On television, it goes 10, 12 minutes. In real life, it can go 2 hours.
Oh,
and
wow.
it goes hard.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so it's all real, for sure.
Do you find as the day goes on, like if the very last thing, like in the 12th hour is a real shit product, it's very hard to contain your emotion at that point?
Oh, yeah, we get pissed. Look, you don't want to be the last deal of the day, and you don't want to be the deal right after lunch. Because right after lunch, we're like half asleep. You know, it's like, they're dragging us in there, and we're trying to wake up, and then, it's the worst. And so they try to do something, something fun right after lunch, but it's always brutal.
Has somebody ever blown it before they even get done with their initial presentation?
Oh, yeah. So a couple things. First of all, 25% of the people who pitch in front of us don't even make it on air just because they crapped out somehow.
Right.
And so can you imagine you've gone through all that and you get on that carpet, you need us to do a deal, and then for whatever reason you can't make it on air. So that's part one. Part two, we've had people faint. We've had people, one guy, there's a group of like 6 guys and they were making this group presentation, and all of a sudden one guy just hits the floor. And you don't know whether to laugh or like get really worried. Fortunately, he got right back up, but it was still too little too late.
So, Sharks, who's going to fall for this presentation?
Yeah, literally, right?
I love their little tags.
Yeah, and then we've had people cry, just like freak out, or they forget their pitch. And so like before they get on air, the producers work with them so they don't freak out, right? So they practice and practice and practice so they know their whole routine.
Right.
And so they've got it down supposedly, but they, probably a third of people, probably 20% of people just blank out at some point. And so we're just like, come on, making it through. You're going to get there. Unless they're just, they're just creeps or whatever, then we'll rip on them. It's like, oh, you thought you were badass and look what happened. Or if they're really bad, we'll start cursing at them because we know it'll be edited, but they have no idea.
That's hilarious. It is so entertaining to see, and some things have been worked in. I'm sure you've heard some things have been worked into drinking games where you could sit there and you have to drink whenever Mr. Wonderful wants a royalty deal.
When they all say no almost instantly.
Yeah, when they all say no. There are certain things that you're just so used to seeing. And one of them is when someone starts crying because they see the desperation comes out. I've seen this so many times where someone pitches, they're very passionate about it, and they see like, I'm out, and it's right toward the end, and I'll sit there with my girlfriend and just go, She's going. Here it comes. The waterworks. And
always.
This means so much to me.
Yeah, you can't help it when you watch your soul get crushed.
Yeah.
You earned it.
And so 2 things happen. When people start to cry like that, 2 things happen. Mr. Wonderful says, take it out behind the barn and shoot it. And Lori goes into this big, long pitch about, don't worry. Just because you didn't get a deal here today doesn't mean your life is over, and I still love you. And that's when you see the rest of us start rolling our eyes
Oh
because
no.
it's just like, oh my goodness, here it comes, the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, she
Mr.
always has the landing pad for
Oh
everybody.
yeah, you gotta be
Everybody.
nice.
She's got the female perspective
Yeah.
a little bit where she's
Because Mr. Wonderful is just notorious for being
Ruthless.
so mean. He got hooked up on saying a cockroach, like calling
Yeah,
people.
you're dead to me, and you're what is it? You're a cockroach. I forget.
Yeah,
I
which is
forget,
what
but it's
you
the
are.
Same old.
Yeah, something like that. And someone, I think you finally called him out on that, or someone did, and said, hey, what are you doing? You're using that one all the time, and it's just nasty.
Oh, we kill each other all the time. So like, I get into my like, okay, here's how I'm going to change your business plan and make your business better. That's my shtick, right? And then Lori goes like, oh, I still love you and everything. Kevin's take behind the barn and shoot it. Damon's like, I'm the people's guy, and what's your valuation? And it's crazy valuation. And Robert's just like, wee, I love this. We all got our stick, and so we have to. This season 11, they came down on us. You can't say the same stuff that you said over and over in the past. So we all had to like work on new directions to get out of the bad habits. And so it really, season 11, we shot the first half of it last month, and it was fun. It was fun. The deals were intense. There was a lot of fights. When the deals are really good and there's money to be made, that's when we fight the most because we all want a piece of those deals.
Yeah, like you legitimately see some deals that are like, wow, this is an amazing product. I see so much potential in it. And now you guys really start combating each other to try to pick up that deal.
It's like free money. Some of these deals, we had a deal come in this year, season 11, and it was like they're making all this money, and we're thinking, okay, why do you need us if you're making all this money? Thinking that they were just there for the commercial. They didn't really want a deal. And then we started getting into it. It's like, oh wait, you need us. Oh wait, we can make money. Oh wait, if we get it, then we'll make more money. And so that's when they get really intense. And so we probably had 2 of those already this season. And those are the ones I like because it's like, I know they want me. I know I got this deal, and so I can just mess with them all.
Can you think of one deal in particular that you didn't get that you really wanted, and now in hindsight, it's like, wow, that really went well, and I wish I would have had a piece of that?
Honestly, the deals are like old girlfriends. When they're done, they're done. You just don't think of them anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe they pop up, so what happens
an awkward
is
hello.
Yeah. It's like when we start shooting, we'll get there. We'll start shooting between 8 and 9 a.m. and go from 7 to 8 p.m. And there's 10 to 12 deals in the day. And so it's hard enough to keep track of all the ones we did after all the seasons. So you don't once the deal is over, I check out. Like, it's like, okay, I'm not interested in this. I'll pay attention because, just in case I can add any value. But when I'm done with it, it's over. So we're on to the next deal, and it's forgotten.
That's kind of the way you operate, though, in your business world is you can't be looking back at missed opportunities or even mistakes. You just got to keep moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the best NBA players. You miss a shot, you're a shooter, you're going to make the next one. And so when one's done, I'm on to the next. I know I can make money on the next one.
It's such a great educational show, which is odd. You wouldn't think so. But when people start talking about valuation and margins, and these are things that a normal person watching TV at home wouldn't give a crap about. It wouldn't interest them unless it was presented in the way it is on Shark Tank. When the show was originally pitched, were there people saying, who the hell is going to watch this?
I'll tell you this. So I wasn't on the first season. I came on as a guest in the second season, and Mark Burnett, who's the producer, asked me, do I want to come on? I'm like, I'd love to. And, they asked me to do 3 episodes as a guest shark. And I'm thinking to myself, this show is not going to last. It's a business show. It's bouncing around on different nights on ABC. It's over. So I'm going to go in there and make as big a splash as I could. And I did some of my worst deals ever because I just wanted to do deals. I figured we're out of business, right? The show is over. And the rest is history. It just kept on going and going and going. Yeah. Season 11 coming up September 29th. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing.
Do you remember the worst product that ever came through the door that you guys just had to air?
So many. There's so many. Some are scams. Like they said to do stuff they can't do. But we've had things like fart candles. We've had these thing called tail lights where they put these like reflectors on. You're supposed to put them on your jeans, and this guy had his nieces come on, and I asked one of the nieces, I'm like, would you wear this on the date? And she just died because she answered no, and she knew she just wiped out her uncle. We had another come on where
screwed his deal.
Her uncle's in jail.
This cat guy and this cat lady, they literally look like cats, and they had these things that like where they lick this brush, and then it was like a cat tongue. And
I've seen this thing. They're selling it. You put it in
disgusting.
your mouth, you hold it with your teeth, and it's this floppy tongue with bristles on it.
Yes.
And you clean your cat as the hair goes in your face.
It was
Which is a
disgusting.
self-cleaning organism.
Yeah. Cats are pretty good at cleaning themselves. Leave them alone.
I'll tell you what, though, but the guy looked and sounded like a cat man, right? He had the same mannerisms, and he was doing this stuff with his hands.
Oh, Jesus.
We were dying. We were just dying laughing. And kind of Robert's the guy who always does the pet stuff, right? So he's always involved with pets. And so he was all into it. Oh, it was sickening, but it was funny.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's
there
the
you
product. It's actually out there. I think people... They marketed it somehow because I've seen this available. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
overseas.
it's out of control. It's out of control.
The reaction to some of the products once they do go to market is amazing. I mean, you guys have made millionaires out of people and made these products available to people that are iconic and part of Americana at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Lori's had a couple of those, the Squatty Potty, and I forget one of the other ones, Reader Rest, these little glasses did really well. And like I could give you one of my deals. There was a company called Simple Sugars, and it's like a scrub, a face scrub that is built around fruits and the simple scrub they have. Well, it was Lainey Lazaro. They're out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she aired in about, I forget, maybe 6 months later. She emails me, and she's just cooking. And she emails me. She goes, Mark, there you go.
Yeah.
You guys are fast.
They're good.
They're really
here,
fast.
yeah.
So about 6 months later, she emails me. She goes, Mark, I've got this question, a problem. I don't know what to do. I'm like, what's up, Lainey? Thinking something's really wrong. She goes, I have $1 million in the bank. What am I supposed to do?
Huh.
I'm like, you save some for your taxes. You just keep the rest there. Don't touch it. Just leave it there. And now you're a millionaire. And so it was just crazy. 6
Wow.
months in after the product aired and she was set. Now they're doing millions a year, and she's still making great money, and she's killing it. Now, she was 19 then. I think she's like 25 now and just well on her way.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that puts you off with a pitch when they first come on and instantly you kind of go, this?
Oh, yeah, all the time. When someone like makes claims that I know aren't true.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
So when we had these balance bracelets where, supposedly they increase your strength.
I was just
and
going to
your-
ask about those if it was a bracelet. Sorry to interrupt, but I thought
No, yes,
that's the one I remember. Yeah.
I tore the guy apart.
Yeah, that's I
Tore him
remember.
apart. Oh, I mean, I literally told these guys I'm going to try to make them cry. That's how bad it
Oh,
was.
wow.
And we get a lot with supplements too, where we have one this season. Oh, I just ripped them apart. Where the guy came on and I'm like, he was making these claims that you'll lose 11 pounds. I'm like, you can't make claims like that. And I was just tearing him apart. And he goes, well, we're not really trying to say it helps you lose weight. And right on the board right behind him, it said, lose weight. And so just guys like that where you just have to tear them apart.
Do you I guess you must have some kind of production staff that weeds out the people that are just pure scams, and you don't want them on there trying to come up with just bilk people out of money by even getting exposure on your show has some equity. So you probably want to keep those off, huh?
Oh, yeah. So there's producers, but sometimes they squeeze by the producers, or sometimes the producers know I'm going to tear them apart.
Oh, okay.
So they put them in just for that, right? It's like, oh, you think, it's one thing to be smart and think you can fool one of us. It's impossible to fool 5 of us. Just impossible.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get your lunch handed to you. I mean, I'll just take someone's head off. But I like it. It's fun for me.
Well, even with American Idol or any other reality show, you have to have the train wreck, and especially
Oh,
if you know a
of course.
bunch of people are going to rip them apart, it's entertaining.
Yeah, the goof
And I love
factor.
it.
Yeah.
It's fun for me, and those are the ones they put right after lunch because they know it wakes me up.
I like the ones that are sports oriented that come on with some kind of crazy idea, but they're so sure you're going to be the one because of your sports background.
Or they don't
It's
even
pressure.
know.
Yeah, the
It's
pressure's
pressure. I
on,
feel
right?
bad, right? It's like, they want to sell me this cup to go in the American Airlines Center with the Mavs, or they want to sell me this, this or that, whatever it is. And I'm like, no, it's just, I try to look. If someone's a scam artist, I'll tear them apart. If someone's trying to pull a quick one on us and just is there for the commercial, I'll tear them apart. If someone's life is on the line and this is their dream and this is who they are, this is the company they've always wanted to start and they've busted their ass to create it and get there, I'm going to try to be nice and try to help. It doesn't mean I'll give them a deal, but I try to respect the fact that it's hard to be an entrepreneur. You guys know, right? It's hard. You run your own business, right, with the show. It's not easy, and for somebody to get there and put their life on the line and everything they have, on the line, I'm gonna try to help them if I can.
Yeah, there are some instances where I'm watching and I go, my initial response is, wow, that seems like a nice product. It's viable. It seems like something people would like and would buy. And then after you guys are done, I'm literally sitting there going, what a piece of garbage.
But it is cool when you actually but like you're saying, when you see him explain how you can make it a good product.
Right.
Just that piece they're missing. that is kind of cool to see when you see something positive.
Or that it's a hobby a lot of times. I like that one where it's like, you don't have a business here. You have a hobby. You're working something out of your house.
Yeah.
And then when my other favorite thing is when they go, we've made
$5,000.
650 this year, and you're like, 1,000? And it's like, no, $650.
And we would like
and
a $250,000 for 5%.
Three of them. Right?
Yeah,
Three of them, right? And they're so after we do a deal, we're allowed to do due diligence, and it happens probably 30-40% of the time. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I sold 10,000," is what they'll say on the show, and then you actually go check, and it's like, no, I didn't sell 10,000. I'm going to sell 10,000.
Yeah.
No, you can't lie like that. And so that happens too.
Yeah, because I would wonder, if you don't know anything about these guys until they come out, and then they come out and they could say whatever they want, I would imagine the deal isn't completely binding right there just based on what they said. You got to have people look into it.
Oh, thank God not.
Yeah.
It'd be impossible. Because people would just lie their asses off, and they lie anyways, right? Or they embellish.
Right, a little embellishing.
A little bit embellishment.
Going on. Right from the start. I love when they value, they're like, I'm looking for $2 million for 5% of my company, and you guys are jotting it down, making that face. Like, what do you got here?
It's just like, what the hell are you thinking? Are you serious?
Yeah.
And it's just a natural reaction. Plus, they set it up so they have all the pitch set up there where they'll have the demo that they're going to do. So we're wondering what we're going to see. Or you'll see a company name that they set up there, and as they're walking in, where you think you know what it is, and then they'll hit us with the $1 million for 3%, and just boom. It's just like, what the hell are you thinking?
And then sometimes, I like this too, this happens a few times, where they're pitching their product, and then out of nowhere, they talk about this other side thing that they had, and everyone else goes, no, that's the product, you dummy.
Yeah, we're going to sell this. Yeah, it's like, I've got the soup and this business I want to build around soup, and this soup is really good, and we're going to sell it in our 37 restaurants. I'm like, wait.
What are you doing?
What are you giving us the soup when you got a business that works?
Yeah. I want to ask you a couple of things off of the topic of Shark Tank.
Sure.
Politics. There's always been rumor that you might actually run for president. 2020 is coming up. You haven't really been. You haven't thrown your hat in the ring. Is there any chance, and do you have any ambition to do that?
Is there a chance? Slight chance. Do I have ambition? I'm like everybody else. I look at how things are being done and think I can do it better, and look and say, okay, I've got the name recognition, I've got the financial resources. But if I didn't have 3 young kids, my kids are 9, 12, and 15, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Wow.
But the definition of bad parenting is having kids and running for president.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. Yeah, it's vicious. And I don't have thin skin. You can say anything about me. but I don't want my kids to have to deal with that.
Exactly.
And that's the bad part.
No, I
Yeah.
get that fully as a father, man. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I absolutely get that. Do you? What? I have a question too. Do you think, if you want to answer, you obviously don't have to, but what Trump said about Bitcoin is going to be beneficial to it or not?
Oh no, I mean, look, do you really think Donald Trump understands Bitcoin?
No. I'm just being honest.
It's a bit, it's a coin.
Not at all.
I get it.
So
Yeah, I get it,
I'm
right?
wondering if the fact that he went against it and people like me who have invested in it as an asset, do you think that it's something that will actually help?
It won't help. It won't hurt. It'll
Okay.
be irrelevant.
Okay.
You know, the challenges for cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, is that there's so many forks, right? And it hasn't really taken off as a currency. So now it's more like gold. It's more like a religion, right? If you believe it's a great store currency, you know, and there's a lot of good reasons to think that, then you just hope there's more buyers than sellers. It's like some stocks.
They need
I've
a-
always said, you know, I've always said stocks like that doesn't pay a dividend is like a baseball card. It's just worth what somebody will pay for it. And Bitcoin's the same way.
Yeah, it feels
and
like
now
a
with all the
wild-
derivatives, it's even harder.
Yeah, because it feels like with a wild, unregulated stock, basically. I mean, we had some luck last week, but then that goes so quick now. You know?
I mean, more buyers than sellers, it goes up. More sellers than buyers, it goes down.
I think there's players like there are in any market that are gonna
There's whales.
boost it up.
There's whales, yeah.
They're gonna dump and leave someone holding the bag, and that happens in so many speculative markets. It's crazy. They need a good Bill Devane. They need a good William Devane kind of
Yeah, to come on
buy
commercials.
Bitcoin. Hi, I'm Bill Devane for Bitcoin.
really-
You know, they
Yeah,
really.
this isn't a Bitcoin, but it could be your
It
Bitcoin.
could be, yeah. And then they'll
Yeah,
show
yeah.
some bullshit graph that shows it's great and whatever. What do you think
Bitcoin-
about?
Bitcoin is-
People bought commemorative plates.
Yeah, they loved those for a while. What do you think of Facebook's possible jump into cryptocurrency?
Libra, I
mean,
think.
I
Yeah.
see what they're doing
Yeah.
with Libra. I mean, look, they've got 2.2 billion users around the world. In reality, their usage base is declining in the United States. They're having to deal with privacy issues, which potentially, if they're regulated, could impact their ad revenue. So they have to come up with something else. And if you look outside the United States and Western European countries to the little, you know, the less, I don't know what the right way to put it, just smaller, more volatile countries where the currencies are very volatile and there's not a lot of great internet access. I think they're looking for Libra to try to replace those currencies in volatile countries. Now, the good news is for Facebook, they have the user base to do that. The bad news is, you know, in some of these countries where there's some despot running the country, the minute you try to take away his currency and his ability to manage the taxation and the currencies, et cetera, someone's going to get shot.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of problems inherent with it. If they had just said, look, in Western Europe and in the United States, that's the only place we're going to release it, see how it goes and see if there's value for it, I'd be all for it. But you know, there's so many things that can go wrong in some of the countries where, you know, the government isn't all that stable. I think that's a problem.
I have a little bit of an issue too that the fact Facebook's a huge company, it's very influential. Having their own currency puts them in this whole other category of power that I think having in a private company, and I know you're a free market guy, you're a capitalist, I feel the same way, but there's something about a private company having that much influence, world influence, and then adding their own currency to it really gives them a power that is I'm a little uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, for the reasons I mentioned. I mean, look, there are countries that they'll be in where the banking system isn't that strong, where people are unbanked. They don't have the ability to open up a bank account. They don't have anything resembling credit cards. And so they use their phones as their currency, as their transactional system for purchases. And so if you're in a country that, particularly one that has an unstable government, I mean, imagine you're in Venezuela, right? And you have Facebook, and Facebook has Libra available. Are you going to choose Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is taken off more? Are you going to choose the local currency where inflation is destroying it? Or are you going to use Libra from a company you trust that everybody has access to do transactions? There's a good chance, you know.
It is pretty. You know, we hope that there's benevolent owners of these companies, but I see. if let's say Facebook or some other company goes into a country and stabilizes their economy with a relatively speaking stable currency, do they then start having influence over the resources of that company, the workers of that company, and now you're digitally colonializing other countries, and it's not a government doing it; it's a corporation who then becomes the government.
Well, but the question, it's not like the de facto government, the legacy government is just going to say, come on in, Mark Zuckerberg, I'm done here.
Now, what you
Don't
said,
worry about
people
me.
are getting shot at that point.
Exactly, and that's the problem.
So scary, man. Mark, you are fantastic. I love watching you. Everything you do, following your career over the years is just amazing. You're one of these real American guys that it's just one of those American dreams come true. And you're fascinating, very entertaining, fun to watch. And thanks so much for popping in with us today, man.
Yeah,
hey,
huge
thanks
fan.
for having me, man. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys bringing me back on. September 29th for Shark Tank. Check it out on ABC. Ask me back, guys. I had a blast.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark.
Thank
Take it
you.
easy, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Friggin'